All right, you guys, before we jump into this week's episode, I do want to send some love and hope to Damar Hamlin and his family during this very difficult time. From myself, Omaha, ESPN, and our Courtside Club family, we are keeping Damar in our thoughts and praying for a full recovery. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. I hope that you guys had an awesome holiday and a great start to the new year. I honestly can't believe that we are already over halfway through season 1 of Courtside Club. 33 episodes down and so many more to go. I want to thank all of you guys who have supported the show and tuned in every single week. Honestly, it means the world to me because I've had so much fun on this show and we have so much more for you guys. And for today's episode, we are taking a trip down memory lane with some of our best moments from the season so far. I hope you guys enjoy it because this one was super fun to put together. So who are your starting 5 NBA players of all time? Positionless, yeah.
No doubt. So Magic and Isaiah.
This is your Fab 5.
Yes, exactly.
NBA.
So it's gotta be, here's the team.
Are we getting him in trouble for a third time?
So Magic,
Okay.
Isaiah, Jordan, Bird.
Okay.
5th, El Capitan, Kareem.
Okay.
That's my all-time 5.
It's a unique list, I have to say.
And by the way, like, you can hate me and or hate my list, but when you really break down the history of the game, like, all of them is top 12 of all time.
Logan pretty much tore everything in his knee.
Yeah. So it's basically the meniscus that's messed up. Uh-huh. But regardless, like, he told me before I came on the show today, and I hadn't even known this yet, that they are they're gonna have to amputate the leg completely. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. That would be tough. It's not ideal news, but I think he's going to continue to wrestle in the WWE. He told me he was going to be going under he told me he was going to evolve to a pseudonym. I think it was Captain Jack IHOP or something like that. It was going to be, it's like a pirate-based pseudonym.
You guys heard it here first.
So he wanted me to share that with you guys before anyone else. So this is a Courtside exclusive. Like, no one has this info.
Captain,
Captain Jack IHOP.
Captain Jack IHOP. Yeah. After the amputation, will be adding a wooden peg to his leg.
Yes, a peg leg, correct. Which is going to make his frog splashes a little bit more difficult, but I think he'll be able
more dangerous.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to pull it off.
I want to ask you though, I was always nervous until I got to warm-ups and I saw everybody else. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm good. Is that how you felt?
No, I was still nervous.
Okay.
I have freaking Tiffany Haddish. No, nothing against her. She's an awesome, freaking awesome person. But, that's not her field. Basketball's not her field. Yeah, and I was still nervous. I was just doing some warm-ups with her and stuff like that. She was, playing defense. And I'm still over here like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is like, I'm really about to play this game.
I think I saw that clip of her guarding you.
Yes.
And with her little defensive hands. And
yeah, I was still nervous though. It was just like, it's a different world. It's a different audience. It's the lights, camera, action is just completely different. I mean, I've played in front of 20,000 people. It's more of a performance than it is of like, it was just different. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's just different. Yeah. But I know.
There's a lot of ego too.
Yes. I went into halftime and I was vlogging it and I was just like, Coach, I don't understand why you're not putting me in the game. Cause I was in like 2 minutes. Freak. I don't know his name. What was my coach?
He
was like an NBA guy, no? I was with Dominique
Wilkins? He's not playing you a lot because you didn't even know his name. Sorry.
Don't tell everybody that.
Bill Walton and Dominique Wilkins, Jesus.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's what I tried to tell you it was.
Okay.
I told you that was Dominique
Yeah,
Wilkins.
you did. I just wouldn't listen. That's my bad.
I was like, I'm over here trying to communicate, Rachel. You're just not listening to me.
Commercial break. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's awesome. Well,
yeah. So I was like,
NBA legend coaching you, but this is why Crissa is not in the NBA yet.
Be like that sometimes, you know? But yeah, I was like, It goes for me.
You're practicing too much to pay attention to like what's going on television. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually have a story about him though.
What?
So the last game that I played in Atlanta, so the Final Four celebrity, you should play in it, by the way. I'll tell the guys. Like, you should do that one. It would be so much fun.
Plug.
Yeah. She's coming next time. So Shaq is always my coach. And I've played in it like 6 years.
He's and then coach too.
It's either like Dominique Wilkins or Charles Barkley. So last year it was Dominique Wilkins.
Oh. He didn't put you in the game?
He was the other coach.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in the game and I get the ball and it's in front of his bench. And he said, oh, let her shoot. He said, let her shoot, let her shoot.
Say less.
I was like, I've never heard that ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I get the ball, it's like, shoot her, shoot her.
Right.
And I talked to him after because I said, hold on, I have a bone to pick with you. I've never once heard anybody ever say, let me shoot. He was like, oh, I saw you warming up. He's like, I was just trying to get in your head. And I was like,
did it work?
It worked.
Dang!
I remember being so rattled. I was like, are you kidding me? Did you just say that? Yeah. So I guess we both have a bone to pick with Dominique.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tried to pull that card, oh, you're my secret weapon. I said, secret weapon to win.
Oh, gosh.
We're in the second half. Win.
You are somebody who, obviously your life with Jared is such a big part of your life, but at the same time you've created your own career and you have so much success in your own right. And it's not like you're on social media shoving it in everybody's face about your fiance, you know? So
it's funny. So when I was shooting Sports Illustrated this last year, I was in Barbados and there was this video of me that went viral. The Lions had their first win and that comment section, the whole thing was like, if she really was a fan, she would have been at the game. And it's like, seriously? Dude, I can't win because if I was at the game, they'd be saying, you're a gold digger. All you're doing is following your boyfriend around. So you really can't win. If you're at the game, you're too invested. That's your whole life. If you're not there, you're not supportive. Right. So as women, it's like, it's impossible to win because they're always going to say something you're doing is wrong.
So is this the last reality stunt for you?
I think I have like one season of like being the Bachelor, and then I'm good for after.
Really?
That, yeah.
You want to be the Bachelor? Wait, are you not in a relationship?
Yeah. Once this is over.
I wasn't gonna ask about dating, and then he brings up the Bachelor. No, I'm just kidding.
We're never gonna break up.
Yeah.
Unless the Bachelor wants me on.
She'll understand. She can just wait. Honestly, that makes for a great story as you're leaving. Yeah. You know, they always have some sort of scandal. Like somebody had a girlfriend or boyfriend who
I've actually got a wife and kids and a mortgage. And
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but like, you know.
Russell Westbrook is one of the best players in the league, okay? I will say that he had a bad season. And by bad season, I mean 18, 8-8 or whatever that was.
No, I'm a big fan of Russell. Like, the thing I don't understand about him is, like, you can hate him. Again, if you go back to just, like, I guess what some would consider cocky, but to me, that's, like, sports. So it's weird to, like, be turned off by that. Mm-hmm. But Russell, even if he is missing every single shot, he gives 100% on the court, like, literally every minute when he is in. And I don't think you could say that about any other player in the NBA who literally at all times leaves everything on the court.
Absolutely.
And he also has, the only time that he's ever been disrespectful to media or whatnot is when somebody is disrespectful
to him,
towards him first.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird to me. Like, you can maybe say, oh, I don't like his style of play, or it's whatever, but to hate him when he really is like giving all he's got is bizarre to me.
I think it was,
and
like
even from the media standpoint as well.
I think it was a media hit job on him. It feels like that. Like it really
the
feels
Westbrook
like
conspiracy.
It really feels that way.
Where did the catchphrase "Let's get right"? That is your phrase.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I can say it without getting.
Well, you can, and no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So, what happened was back in the 82, 83, 84 when I started, the ring announcers they were all like sort of like pals with the commissioners. You had a guy in California, you had a guy in New York, and they were all part of the local commission. So they would introduce the entire boxing commission, for the state. Now just imagine going to an NFL game, and before the game, somebody introduces the entire front office of the NFL. You know, like you just killed the crowd.
Right.
So in boxing, we're in that electronic era where the fighters come with the music and it's exciting and it's the main event and everybody and the fans are, that's what they've been waiting for. And then the ring announcer introduces this bout sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, boxing commissioner, chairman, 4 board members. Oh my God. I mean, you're just 3 doctors, 4 doctors, a timekeeper, 3 judges. You see where I'm going? Mm-hmm. You've wiped out all that atmosphere. So
because this is between the walkout and them
fighters come into the ring, the music stops, and the ring announcer.
I can't even imagine what that'd be like if you had a whole
kills the crowd. Kills the crowd.
Yeah.
So I wanted that feeling you get at the Indy 500 when that little old lady. I did the opening introduction for the Indy 500 once, and then for that line, "Gentlemen, start your engines," where everybody that's the line, that's the moment.
Yeah.
But they have at that time was like I guess she's probably my age now, but a little old lady came out and she actually had it written down, "Gentlemen, start your engines," and "Gentlemen, start your engines." But still, everybody went crazy because it's what they want to hear. It means the race is going to start. So I wanted "Gentlemen, start your engines," that type of catchphrase.
Yeah.
And I tried, and now, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. Nothing's happening. Man your battles tonight. That wasn't going to work. And
fasten your seatbelts. I like that, actually.
the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali. And you can see this on YouTube and everything, where before the fight or weigh in, and he would just say, "I'm so pretty, I'm running up and down mountains, I'm chopping wood.
Yeah.
Let's get, I'm ready to rumble. Rumble, young man, rumble." So I started saying, "Let's get ready to rumble." And it wasn't anything like you hear today. It was, I would say, "Let's get ready to rumble." 10 rounds of boxing. And I just, because I wasn't trying to bring attention to myself, but I was trying to do something to let people know it's the main event. Yeah. Right. And I stayed with it, and I think that was a smart move.
Originally, my role in the series, so I did one episode with you where we first met or whatever.
Episode 9, by the way. Y'all go check that. You were in...
I did 2 episodes with you.
I think it's Spider-Man.
The first one I was with my friends, remember, playing ball, and we met, and you were not Spider-Man. You were in your Peter Parker outfit, and we were at the park. It was windy or whatever, and I was shooting. So then the second episode is where you saved me as Spider-Man.
Right, yeah.
But then you broke up with me, right?
Yeah, we broke up.
Okay.
This all happened in the same... Yeah, so I think it's Spider-Man Basketball episode 9, and then you're on the very last one.
Yes.
It's like 11.
Yes.
I think we went to 11.
Okay, but I have a bone to pick with you because I was supposed to die off.
Oh.
Do you remember? You told me I was gonna die.
Oh, we said potentially. I don't think we went that route. Like, sorry, you didn't get that.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted to. I was like, man, this is my acting debut.
Got you.
I get to die as Gwen Stacy. I get to get dunked on, and it just takes me out.
We did talk about that.
I got cut from the Spider-Man series.
No, basically what happened was the video stopped doing as good, but I think also we kind of we deep dove into story, and it's really it was all about hooping, you know what I mean? So we deep dove.
Listen, I'm joking. I wouldn't have had you on the Courtside Club if I was really that pissed, but I feel like that would have been dope. So maybe there's just this side 3-minute episode.
Maybe they want us to bring it back, you know what I mean? So we might have to consider that. I don't know.
We'll consider it.
All right.
Magic was the first and only person that ever owned a Starbucks. Multiple. So when I was maybe 10, 11 years old, my dad went to Magic and said, we'd love for you to be our partner and build a series of Starbucks in low-income areas in South Central Los Angeles. Watts, Inglewood. So I think he did 8, 10, 12, something like that. And they're, to this day, some of the most successful Starbucks. Because basically, no companies would go into these neighborhoods, no retail stores. And when Starbucks went in, it set the table, and all of them went, especially because Magic endorsed it.
Right.
And they've been enormously successful. And actually, that's a Shaq story too. Did you ever hear that one?
No, you didn't. We started there, then we backtracked.
This is your pod. I'm taking over here.
Yeah, go for it.
So,
at least I'm not being interviewed.
Well, I can flip it.
No, please don't.
So Shaq, before Magic or simultaneously, my pop went to Shaq and asked him the exact same question. And he was prime Shaq. Because this is 2000. This is amidst their three-peat.
Yeah.
And he's in LA, and he wanted to do the same thing in South Central LA. And Shaq was like, black people don't drink coffee. Because where he was from, he had never seen it. Yeah. And that's literally what he told my dad. He was like, I never seen anybody of color drink coffee. The answer is no. And so every time he sees me now, he's like, I hate myself. Like I could have been one of the greats, like Magic, like Shaq, Howard. He's always like,
because he's such a businessman. Shaq
he didn't buy into it, and so he couldn't support it.
Right.
He is a businessman.
Right.
But he
so I'm
didn't
saying
believe
now
in the
he's
product.
kicking himself because he's like,
oh, it would have been substantial.
It would have been massive.
Substantial.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm drinking a Starbucks around him, he's just like, what got away? What could have been?
Vince Carter was Instagram living all the time. And that's my hero pretty much. And he was like, he saw me like in there. He was like, Chuck, what's up, man? He was like, jump on. And he like jumped on the live and he was like telling people, he's like, this is the GOAT right here. People call me the GOAT, but this is the GOAT. And I was like, really? Vince Carter's calling me the GOAT right now.
That's so cool.
And I'm like trying to screen record and stuff. Didn't get it, but I was like, man.
Did you even know that he knew who you were?
No.
That's cool.
I had no idea.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was like I was just like, man. And I remember I like called my brother. I was like, Vince Carter just called me the dunk goat or whatever. And
that's so cool.
Now I'm supposed to play golf with him. And I lied to him and told him I was good at it. I'm in trouble.
Oh my gosh. How long do you have before you're going to play golf with him?
Actually, I'm getting kind of good now because this was during COVID. He was like, yeah, man, I got to make it down to Naples. There's a course down there I'm trying to play. Man, if he sees this, my bad, man. He was like, we'll have some dulce and play some golf. I was like,
what are you supposed to say? If Vince Carter asks you to play golf, you're like, obviously.
Immediately, I was like, yeah, I'll kill you, man.
I've been practicing like 6 hours a day before the game.
I literally, during COVID, I was going to the range like 5 days a week. And then it was just so funny because it was the same live. And he was like, we'll drink some dulce and play golf. And I was like, yeah, I love that. And in my head, I was like, hate dulce, hate golf. But now I'm playing and stuff. I'm just waiting for the day.
Ronda Rousey is another mother in WWE. We can respect her for that, but we can. How have you felt about her performances lately after transitioning back the last couple years from UFC back to WWE?
I think she doesn't respect it as much as she should. I mean, she's gone off on tangents, disrespecting the sport that I've given my life to, that I love, that I obsess about. And both of us have come back from having a child, and one has come back better than ever and one has not. I am the one who's come back better than ever, and I think that you need that respect for this business, that obsession for this business, to be able to do that. I don't think that she puts as much work in. She doesn't put as much work in as I do, and it shows.
What is the craziest thing that Coach K did, whether it be in practice, that a story that we haven't maybe heard yet?
He did a lot of crazy stuff. He would, there were times he would come into the locker room and have something set up for us. Before a game we played my freshman year, we were playing Louisville. And back then Louisville, their nickname was the Doctors of Dunk. And they went to the Final Four that year and played in that iconic game with FaZe Sabastian in the Final Four. And, we had some ups and downs during the course of the early season. And all of a sudden, we're waiting for his pregame speech and the lights went out. And we're like, what else is going to go wrong? Like, now we have no power. And we immediately went to the negative. We took a trip to Negative Town. And all of a sudden we see this flickering light coming down the hallway. And he's got a candle in front of his face. So all you could see was his face in this pitch darkness. And all he said was, I came not to praise Louisville, but to bury them, and blew the candle out. And all the guys started jumping up and, screaming. And then we ran out on the court and we had a great first half, and then they kicked our in the second half. So we lost the game. And that was the last time we saw the floating head candle thing.
I need to know what athlete you think has the best acting chops that you've worked with.
Yo, the sickest is I
Take
mentioned
the
it
Rock
before,
out
but
of here, though. We can't use
but I don't really look at Dwayne like an athlete. I mean, he is obviously.
He is when I was a kid,
when he played football, he's a wrestler. I know he's an athlete.
We liked him for that. Like,
I look at Dwayne as like a global brand. You know what I mean? Like, I have a hard time going like he's an athlete. But Alvin Kamara was the craziest thing because we were there. Me, Alvin, Omar Ben Samilla were getting ready to shoot the scene. And I was like, yo, does somebody have mini sides for Alvin? And he was like, nah, I don't need them. And I was like, he's like, I'm off book. Like, and I thought he was kidding. I thought he was kidding. And I was like, he's like, man, I don't show up on a Sunday for a game without knowing the playbook. And he knew every line. Oh, that's dope. And he crushed it.
What is the most wild moment or thing that has been said that we didn't get to see in that final cut? You gotta let us under the hood a little bit.
You mean in that episode or just in general?
In the show in general. I know that there's something because I have also been around Shaq for many of years. Yeah. And we hear him on the sideline. He says some wild stuff.
Yeah, a lot of times when the feed is bad or when his headphones aren't working or his microphone isn't working, he has some funny things to say to the producer. And we are on the second season, and he just not, I mean, we shoot this show every week, and he's just now getting the producer's name right. He called him. His name is Donzel. Shaq been calling him Dontrell, Denzel, Dontel, everything, Montel, everything but Donzel, which is his name. So it is hilarious.
How did you and Jalen meet? How did this show that has now been going for over 10 years, how did it come about?
Great question. Actually, two different answers to one question. We met in the bathroom of Strokers, a gentleman's club in Atlanta. And it was one of my first forays into the Atlanta Gentlemen's Club experience. It's very different. It is very much a hang. It is very much a co-ed situation, a lot of food focused. And I was there with my friend, and wasn't the most diverse crowd. And Dave Chappelle was there. And at some point, like the DJ was like, Dave Chappelle's in the building. Like everybody cheers and gets all excited. And this is a long time ago. Like this is 2004. And Dave Chappelle was there, and they gave Dave Chappelle the mic. And I think they expected him to like do like a, hey, I'm Dave Chappelle. This is amazing. Love Strokers. Like they expected him to like be nice. He gets on the mic. He goes, where are my wings? I guess his wing order was like delayed. Yeah. So he did like 2 minutes just roasting the establishment on how long their wings take to get to his table in classic Dave Chappelle like mode. And then one trip to the bathroom, Jalen was there, and like, you know, you can't like talk to another person while you're at the urinal or whatever. So like we were like washing our hands, and I just had to like introduce myself and say what's up. And then, you know, 8 years later, he proposed doing a podcast for Grantland to Bill Simmons, who was running Grantland, and myself, who was in charge of audio and video at Grantland. And we had a call meeting about it. And I was like, so Jalen, like, we'll do a pilot, because you always want to do a pilot. You don't want to like give someone a podcast that you can't take back. Mm-hmm. Podcast producers listen. And I was like, we're going to do a pilot. Like, is there someone that you played with or like someone you grew up with that you want to do it with? Like, who do you want to do this with? And like, it was quiet for a second. And he goes, what, you don't want to do it? And then he proposed that he wanted to do it with me. And I thought I would just do the pilot, and we'd eventually replace me with that spot. And now we're 11 years later, and that spot was never replaced.
Here you are sitting in the studio now. That's dope.
Here I am.
Steeler Nation is different because it's a generational thing. Like, go to Walmart or Target. You know, you know how it is. Yeah. You're gonna see a baby to an 85-year-old lady to some dude that looks like a substitute teacher, all wearing Steeler jerseys. Yeah. And throughout the city of Pittsburgh on a Friday, maybe Thursday, the city is dripped in black and gold, and it just is what it is. So I say it all the time. Being a Steeler is like being a part of a religion. It's definitely like a cult. It's like not even a question. Like, I remember one time I was on IR, and I think we had like an afternoon game. It was like a 4:25 game. I went to the 1 o'clock service, and literally the service is like going on, and the Padre was like, "Hey, it's close to game time. Let's wrap it up." To the congregation, and everybody was like, "Amen." Out the door. And I was just like looking around like,
So good.
And it was straight like that. Like, and people were just out of there.
And everybody was on board with
everybody.
it. Yeah.
And like, this one lady was like, yeah, I got my greens on, girl. I said, we got to go watch the Steelers. And I remember watching this one dude was like, yeah, I got to get to the grill. Like, it's a day, man. And on Thursday, you would see RVs and trailers. People already out there for a Sunday game on Thursday. Cool. And our parking lot would be slammed with people. And I'd be like, oh, is a concert coming to town? I was like, no. I remember one dude was like, you are the concert. We drove from Kentucky. We gonna spend our weekends here. And so
it was like the Beatles in Pittsburgh, but at all times.
Even in Latrobe, like training camp, people on their time, their vacations, like, oh, we going to Latrobe to vacation for 3 days, watch Steelers, we're gonna get back in the RV and we're gonna go home. That's cool. That's people's vacation time. Yeah. So it's wild.
It's the best time of the year. The football playoffs are upon us, basketball and hockey are in full swing, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Make up for lost time and go enjoy a game. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN, is offering you $10 off your first $100 ticket purchase with code Courtside. That's code Courtside. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
All right, people, we're brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the greatest sports betting app of all time. See, it's not just about the daily promos, odd boosts, or the hundreds of ways to wager. It's about the immortal words of Caesar himself. You bet, you get with Caesars Rewards. Every bet you place on the app, no matter the outcome, earns towards exclusive perks at Caesars Rewards destinations everywhere. Hotel stays, concert tickets, bonuses, and more. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app, become a Caesars Rewards member today, and get more with every wager. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-522-4700.
When Tom Brady leaves, when LeBron leaves, when Serena, Nadal, who is next? So it'll be interesting to see.
I think you'll have Joe Burrow will be a good move for you.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow is going to be fun. He's not going to Johnny Manziel it. He's going to come through. He will not this up like Johnny Manziel. I'm so upset about that.
Our Browns, man.
He had it. He had it all.
He did have it all.
He was going to be the one. I think you'll have a moment. I think Shaq's son is going to do same thing that his dad did. Sharif. Where he's going to brand himself the right way. And he's going to do that because his dad has done it better than anyone else. Minus Snoop Dogg. For some reason, Snoop Dogg's branding people.
But did you hear Snoop on Impulsive, I think it was, when he was saying that he's trying to get to the level of Shaq because he thinks Shaq is the only one who's done it better than him.
It's wild.
It's neck and neck.
It's neck and neck.
Sure.
It's like super wild. But like Shaq has figured out a way to do it. And I think he's going to not only make Sharif do it, but he's going to show him the way.
I found the clown mask, by the way.
Oh, really?
The clown mask is over there on the couch. Oh my gosh, Manny's gonna grab it for me. You guys, I have to show you this clown. This became. And
did
this
you ever put it on the show? Like after, I know obviously you took the hostage, but did you ever bring it back? Because I wore it during one of my
your outfits of the day. So guys, this how I know this one was mine. Look at my makeup. Like this is my lip. This was my mask. I might take this as a souvenir if there's like any room in my suitcase. But look at how terrifying this is, please. Like, it's terrifying.
I think we should have worn. When I meant on the show, like on the stage.
Oh,
I think we should have done it on the stage.
It's so good. Anyway, we pranked the contestants one night. I did with some of the other FaZe staff members, and it was really fun.
What needs to be done to make the contest better?
The dunk contest?
Yes. What is the solution?
I think the young kids need to prepare a little bit better. Because think about it. If those young guys would have made the first dunks that they were throwing down, it would have been it would have been a great dunk contest. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. Yeah.
The dunks were sick.
The dunks were great. Yeah.
They just weren't prepared to hit them on the first try, or there was nerves, or there was something else.
You ready for this?
Okay.
Yo, what if nobody chooses their dunks? They show up blind. They have no idea what's going to happen. And the NBA chooses the dunks for each round.
Do you think they're good enough?
All players have to do the same dunk and are judged on that dunk. That would be kind of fire. Like, okay, you have your 4 dunkers, and the NBA shows a dunk. Maybe they show a dunk that someone's already done, or maybe they show a dunk or say a dunk, and everyone has to do it. And you get judged by who does the dunk the best.
So, but maybe it's something that a little bit more baseline where it's maybe an East Bay that they show, and then you can add your own flavor. Like, oh, I can do between the legs dunk easy. I'm gonna add it between legs 360 and go for it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, because
it could be something that was like too hard that somebody couldn't actually execute it.
But I think that part of it would ensure the excitement, because the NBA is going to choose a dunk that everyone can do.
True.
But then everyone's going to do it really, really good. You get what I'm saying? So let's
and then the final round is
do your own dunk.
Is dunker's choice.
There it is. There it is. We just figured it out. I'm not gonna lie. That actually would be fire. I'm not gonna lie. That would be fire.
This is why you've been hired for a 5th time to cover NBA All-Star for ideas like this. Adam Silver, if you're listening,
hey,
just let us know. We'll help you coordinate it. We'll get Chuck on board. You can train the guys. We'll be ready to go.
When I was prepping for this interview, I came across something so interesting that I thought was amazing. It was you dancing at halftime.
Oh, no.
But here's the kicker. I was like, why does this look so familiar?
Yeah.
I was at that game.
You were at that game?
I was at that game.
Oh, my God.
So for our courtside listeners, can you break it down?
Yes.
What went on during that halftime performance?
So it was for this TV show Game On, which was like a CBS like sports game show. It was me, Gronk, Venus Williams, and James Corden, just 4 of the greatest athletes of all time. And one of our challenges was to learn from the Laker girls how to do like a halftime Laker girls dance. So Venus picked it up really quick.
She was great,
sharp,
a star.
I mean, she's so sharp. She's brilliant. She's so smart, so athletic. Gronk and I worked with a dance instructor for 4 hours behind the scenes, trying to like nail all these dance moves.
Was it day of?
It was the day of.
Okay.
She came to the studio, and then we went to, at the time, Staples Center. And up until the very last second, we were working on these dance moves. James Corden walks in, because he's a Broadway guy, learned the entire thing in like 10 minutes, and then was having like a Perrier in the corner. It was one of the most humiliating things in my life. And then I kept asking the producers, I'm so glad I get to set the record straight. Over and over again, I was like, is there any way I can not wear Laker gear? Is there any way I can have like a Blazer shirt underneath this where I pull off the Laker shirt, and at the end, there's like a pinwheel there?
Right.
No, they were like, you can't do it. You absolutely can't do it. At no point can you do it. So I do want people to know, I had a Blazers t-shirt on underneath the Laker gear, closer to my heart.
Okay.
Not for everybody in the crowd to see, not for Rachel DeMita to see, but close to my heart, where the Blazers live 24/7.
Have there been any NBA guys that you've seen who maybe like when they first came to you naturally weren't the best or like still had room to grow, but because of their hard work, you've seen them take off?
Yeah, I mean, a ton of them. But I mean, like, let's use Joel Embiid. I mean, he's a guy that's 7'1", 280 pounds, and each year he's added to his game. Like right now, he's doing crossovers between the legs, and he's playing like a guard. And I remember his rookie season, everybody was like, oh, you're a center. You need to go just get as close to the basket as you can and just duck in and, on screen and roll to the rim. And he was like, no, like I know that I can be better than that. I know I can be more versatile than that. And so he's an example. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine didn't play at UCLA. He was projected 29th in the draft. I'll never forget. He was projected 29th because I got the screenshots of all these analysts saying, I don't know why Zach LaVine thinks he's ready for the NBA when he's not even ready for college. He's going to look great in a Maine Red Claws, which is a G League team, jersey next season. And now Zach's a, back-to-back All-Star. Yeah. And we knew how good he could be, but it was just, he had to put in the right work over time. And eventually he proved everybody how special he truly is as a player.
So how did the Guinness World Record come about? That was, what year was that?
A year and a half ago.
Okay. So how did that come about? Which world record do you hold?
I hold the world record for being the fastest man on 2 hands.
What is the distance? What's the
20
time?
20 meters and 4.7 seconds.
4.7 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, how did you even know I'm like, okay, this is a record I want to break?
Shoot, I was just filming content at Redondo Beach at this high school football field with the Real Deal squad and Craig and all the homies. And I I asked the videographer, I was like, yo, man, I want to record this video of me running, because I was like working on sprints, like, conditioning stuff. And he was like, yeah. So like he sprinted right next to me as I took off. Next thing you know, we got hit up by Guinness.
That was dope.
Yeah.
They're like, hold on a sec, can we come and film you and time you?
Yeah, pretty much. And then next thing you know, I'm in Massillon, Ohio, inside the indoor football facility, breaking a world record.
I get it. He wanted to go watch it. It's one of those things that, you know what, you are a kicker, you could probably get away with it. But it's just like being at work during the week. Probably not the best idea. You know, I always tell kickers and punters when they get bored during the week at work, just hide. Don't let guys see you laying around on a couch or playing a video game when we're going from meeting to meeting. You know, it's just best to lay low. So I think his best option would have been to lay low in that situation, or at least if he wanted to watch it, hide in one of those little field suites where nobody would have seen him.
Right? Or get like the mascot's head or something.
Yeah, something. You gotta lay low.
Well, that is the fight, and I know you've heard it so much from the media, from the fans. Everybody wants to see it. You guys are both, at the top of your game. Is it sometimes frustrating for you to hear the media put so much pressure on you to make this fight happen? Like it's your job?
Yeah, it was at one point. It kind of was frustrating because I felt like everybody was pointing the blame at me when, it takes more than just one side to make a fight. And I felt like I was the only side pushing and trying to make a fight happen. But now I really don't care. Like, they can say whatever they want. They can, they can scream till they blue in the face. Like, it doesn't affect me. Like, it's cool. I just block you. Now you don't got no type of access to me. Like, people literally wake up every morning thinking about Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, and thinking about coming on my social media platform to, try to bash me or say all these things about me. And, now where I used to be like, it's not me. Like, I want to prove that it wasn't me. Like, now I just, laugh at them because, they stressing themselves out. They beating themselves up for something that they not getting paid for, something that they have no control over. So it's kind of funny to me now. I just be looking at them laugh like, look at these people. Like, they crazy.
You're living in their mind rent free.
Oh, definitely.
What has been done in this past year to where you feel like optimistic with how the league is trending and just how women's basketball is trending?
Exposure is the name of the game. And like, just to briefly touch on what you say, a lot of times people speak on the WNBA without fully immersing themselves in it. Mm-hmm. Because if you immerse yourself in it, a lot of times the energy that we receive on social media or just through people's thoughts about it, that's not the same energy we get in person. And that's not the same energy. When I walked on the street, people were like, oh, wow, you are tall, you play basketball, oh, you're a Sparks player, oh, I see you on ESPN. Like, right. It's all great positive energy. And why can't we keep that the same where we have platforms, whether big or small? So I would say that, like, the trend is that our game is growing. Sports, women in sport, like, it's the place that has opportunity to grow, which is really exciting.
Who is the GOAT of soccer?
Yeah,
for you?
I mean, it could be Pele, Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo. I think is kind of the four that people will go between. But I think Messi. Yeah, I mean, he's just like this little magician, and he's just so unassuming, but just so brilliant. And he glides around the field with balance and poise, and this incredibly humble guy off the field, and just carries the amount of pressure that he does at all times. And I would love nothing more. This is probably going to be Messi's last World Cup this winter. Messi's last World Cup and Ronaldo's. And Messi has never won a World Cup. He's been in a final and lost. And I just think like it could be his year. And if he lifts that World Cup, like just crown him the GOAT, like unanimously. There's not even a debate at that point.
So we had basketball camp before we started filming. And it was like 2 weeks or something. And I was like, cool. 2 weeks? Like, I need more than that. But yeah, we had basketball camp. And I was like, yeah, definitely going to that. And so we would just like work on like form shots, and then afterwards like we would work on like plays that were going on in the script.
Yeah.
And I mean, after that,
so
it was
did
just
you
pretty
do
good.
okay as a basketball player, basketball camps, did you have any conditioning? Did you have any like, or was it strictly like, okay, let's stick to the script, what's going to be in the script, and do that?
No, we would do conditioning too. Like we would work on like form.
So you ran line drills?
What's a line drill?
Or like suicides? No.
Why does it sound really familiar? Well, because I did play basketball, but like.
So when you run, you're from the baseline to foul line, and then back to baseline, then half court line, back to baseline, free throw line on the opposite end, back to baseline, full court. Is you're touching all, you're running, right?
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
touching all these with your feet and your hand.
Okay.
And then back.
So we would do like from baseline to half and then to the next baseline, but it wasn't like slowly increasing. We would just like run, if that makes sense. Like we're just.
Yeah. So down and back.
Yeah, just down and back, basically.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
No, it's good that you skipped that part, because like many of my years were spent doing suicides.
Oh my gosh,
basketball practice.
Because I remember I used to do that actually
Yeah.
for like when I actually played like in middle school, and it was hell. So the fact that you do this for years, props to you.
What's the best card you on?
I have some high grade Derek Jeter rookies, some Giannis stuff, some really fun tickets. But my best items, period, I have George Washington acknowledging that he was in debt in his mid-20s. The only other examples in the Smithsonian I have.
Wait, what is it?
It's a handwritten document by Washington. It's a receipt for a bond. So
how do you get that?
I bought it in auction. Yeah, so the context on George...
This is like not my world, but it's so interesting.
Yeah, so George Washington was buying land in his mid-20s before he got more involved in politics, and he bought more land than he could afford. So he had to sell bonds to friends to cover his debts. And what I have is the full receipt of a bond that he was selling a friend for 16 shillings. I don't know how that factors into inflation, but it was a lot of money.
That's
like
so
16.
funny.
And then I have the highest graded Abraham Lincoln signature in the world on a document appointing the Postmaster General. I have Lincoln approving, war movements during the Civil War. Yeah, I love that stuff.
And then the other thing that's tough is like I'm also 6 foot tall and blonde, so when I go to like NBA games and I try to sneak in a camera or events, I get spotted really easy. I see so many guys that I know that are like shorter and they're like a little more discreet, and they sneak in more camera equipment than I do. But if I'm trying to sneak in, it's like, oh no, this like tall girl, like she's not supposed to be here.
Right, you stand out.
Yeah, so.
Wait, what's the secret of sneaking in a camera? I need to know this.
Oh yeah, that's top secret. No, I mean, it's just, like you're allowed to bring cameras in. You just have to figure out like what lenses you can bring in and stuff. But there's like certain areas where you're not supposed to sit at, and maybe I end up sneaking somewhere. Not just NBA games, like events in general. I'm pretty good about sneaking around, but I do get caught a lot easier.
Best NBA dunker of all time.
Vince.
So,
Lord Vince the Carter.
Without Vince,
Mr.
there's
Vince.
none of these new guys. But matter of fact, don't do this. Matter of fact, bro.
Vince Carter.
Matter of fact, bro.
They say Vince Carter hands down.
One foot guy, don't do this. Vince Carter. Don't do this, Vince Carter. Not right now. Not the club. Not the Courtside Club. His name is Vincent Carter. Yeah. I'm just gonna throw Vincent. It might not.
I used to watch the top 100 Vince Carter dunk before every dunk contest.
Who are you gonna put above him? If it's not like what, Dominique or?
It's Vince Carter. Why do you say Vince is the best? Because of influence or real talk? Because of influence, or are we speaking on the actual dunks they can do? Because if we're speaking on actual dunks they can do, just point blank period, dunks alone. Jay Rich is better than Vince in the dunk contest, dunks alone, and you won't lie to me and sit there and say he's not.
Okay. No.
Dunks only.
What did you say?
I'm saying
Jay
dunks
Rich
only.
said I hit that dunk under tweet, and I tried it and I never hit that again. Consistency. He's not consistent. On his own Jay Rich East Bay.
We're just
he made that dunk,
bro.
but he can't do it.
Vince Carter, you'd never seen Vince Carter do another between the legs in his life after that until he was 40.
He was doing it when he was young with the Afro in
wild.
Florida.
That's wild, by the way. That's wild, by the way.
What did you just
But
say?
he never
40?
did it again. Like you said, he never did it again until he got older. He was like, I gotta see if I still got it, which is fine. But if we want to say, if we're going off of dudes dunking in their old age, Dr. J dunked every birthday until he was 70. So let's talk about that.
How tall is he?
To me, bro, are we talking about influence or just dunking? Just answer me this. Vince Carter. Vince Carter, hands down.
The GOAT
No, Vince Carter's the
NBA
GOAT.
dunking.
Vince Carter. Influence, style, made every kid want to dunk. Attitude.
Like literally when Jay Rich said, I tried that Jay Rich dunk,
only closer in-game dunker would be Sean Kemp. And
Vincenzo.
It's like this.
But I see, it's this country club that you have to dress a certain way, look a certain way. There's a lot of even unspoken rules about golf.
Yes, definitely.
So do you like that element of it, or do you see it to where Live Golf came into play and they're like, okay, you can wear shorts now, right? So how do you feel?
I've always kind of been on the more, I guess, like Live side of golf. Like, I don't think that there should be a specific way you have to dress. I mean, I understand, like, when you play a lot of sports, there is like an unspoken thing of like what you wear when you go do your sport. Like, you're not going to go running in heels. Like, I get that,
Yeah.
But as someone who's always kind of been not accepted into the like stuck up world of golf, I've kind of, from that aspect, kind of been like an outsider looking in. Because when I go to country clubs, even just as a girl, in a sport like that, there's certain country clubs where women are still not allowed to play. There's certain ones where even if they are, you're kind of looked down on.
Yeah.
So even from just being a girl, you kind of see that, which is tough.
Yeah.
But I definitely think there's a elitist sort of way of thinking when it comes to clothing. If they see you dressed in a way that's not typical golf, you're kind of looked down on. Doesn't matter what you do or where you're from.
Right.
I think it's just like it's like the culture of the game of golf that's kind of been the same for hundreds of years, and they just don't know how to change it.
Right.
And you look at players like Luka, who followed a similar trajectory, playing pro since he was 16 years old. And just to be real, I mean, as American hoopers, we feel like we've had this stronghold, ever since the Dream Team in '92. But that stuff has started to dwindle. I just watched the Redeem Team doc on Netflix. And it's hard to even remember or imagine a time when, America wasn't this top dog in the scope of international basketball. And you look around the league now at who the top players in the league are, and it's a heavy, heavy international influence. So I think the rest of the world has put us all on notice that we got to get our stuff right, get back in the gym, put the work that needs to be put in. Because, we've got a ton of homegrown American talent that's performing well in the NBA. But nowadays, you look at the Embiids, the Jokers, the Lukas, the Giannis, all these names, like it's definitely, I think Giannis did an interview the other day, assembled kind of his international team versus the American team. And, there's a good chance that American team gets cooked. So
Somebody who's been in the news the most, obviously, is Antonio Brown, because we've seen a character arc of his that is confusing for some. When you see him in the media and see what he's been getting into lately, do you see that as being a cut and dry CTE case?
No, absolutely not. And one of the interesting things is that we see a number of former professional football players. And as we go through early on in that program, we thought this was all going to be about concussion and post-concussion. And what we found is that this is transition in mental health. You have these guys who are paid to run in and hit someone, get up, 15, 30 seconds later, do it all over again. And they go and they hit someone. And if they're disrespected during the week or someone gives them a hard time or something like that, they've got practice and they've got the game that's coming up to be able to take out some of these emotions that they have. And now all of a sudden, they're out. They're no longer playing the game. They have, generally, you don't leave the NFL. The NFL leaves you. So most of these people don't retire on their own. They just are cut and they don't make a team. And now they're having to transition into a world that they really haven't prepared for because they've been playing football since high school. So now they have to figure out how to do these things. So their whole world changes in a moment. often. They've got a life, they've got a family, they have everything else. So all of that comes into play with how they react. And these guys have potentially had problems before they got into football. So, you know, you've got your childhood experiences that you're bringing in. So we're all unique individuals. And I don't think that you can go and say, oh, someone's acting up, they said something ugly, they got mad, ooh, it's because they hit their head all the time. It could be, but I don't think you can jump to that conclusion as an automatic.
All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Courtside Club. Next week, we are back with our favorite halftime and buzzer beater moments. And then on Thursday, January 19th, we'll be back with our regular show, brand new guests for the brand new year. So I hope that you guys are excited for that. Thank you guys so much again for all the support that you've shown Courtside Club. It has been an awesome ride so far, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
What's up, guys? It's Rachel DeMita. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Courtside Club. Make sure that you like, rate, and subscribe to ESPN's YouTube channel and wherever you listen to your podcasts. We have new episodes coming to you guys every single week, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you soon.